A new report claiming actor George Clooney called the White House this week to talk with President Biden after the White House criticized the agency that his wife works for. The Washington Post writing, quote, Clooney called Steve Ricchetti, counselor to the president, to express concern about Biden's denunciation of arrest warrants sought by ICC prosecutors. The actor was also upset about the administration's initial openness to imposing sanctions on the ICC because his wife might be subject to penalties.
Joe Concha is a Fox News contributor, and he joins us now. Joe, George Clooney called the Biden administration's position outrageous on this reported phone call. And he's going to be a special guest at this fundraiser that's taking place next week.
Going to be awkward, Carly, no question. Let's unpack all of this, okay? Because it shows a White House and president in Joe Biden who appears to have the spine of a jellyfish. First, what? The ICC puts out an arrest warrant, as you just reported, for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, led by Mrs. Clooney, Amal Clooney. And then what? Reportedly, an outraged George Clooney calls Biden's people, and then out of nowhere, Biden suddenly reverses his position and says he's now against Congress's effort to sanction the ICC. You add all this up, I mean, shut the front door. It appears that Danny Ocean is running our country. This is outrageous, Todd. Well,
it was pretty impressive what he did in all three of the Ocean's movies, but that was fake, and this is real life, and an actor should not be setting foreign policy. None of this is going to stop this big gathering that Carly mentioned. Jimmy Kimmel, host in the Biden fundraiser, he sent out this message saying, "Hi, it's Jimmy Kimmel. I host a poorly rated show on TV that Donald Trump hate watches. I'm intruding on your text today because I'm interviewing President Biden and President Barack Obama with special guests George Clooney, Julia Roberts, and more. Every cent will help keep Donald Trump out of the Oval Office." And I'm reviewing my notes here, Joe. Where's the mention in that text of the issues that are important to the American people? You know, things like the economy, immigration, because all I saw there was just like, we want to get Trump.
Yeah, well, what does Jimmy Kimmel, a multimillionaire, know about inflation, right? Doesn't impact him in any way, shape, or form. Violent crime, well, he's got security. It doesn't affect Kimmel in any way, shape, or form. Illegal immigration, doesn't really care much about that. I give Jimmy Kimmel credit, though, because he is a poorly rated late night host. It goes Gutfeld and then Colbert and then throw somebody else in there, and then Kimmel's there in either third or fourth place, in a distant third or fourth place. We saw this last month when who was a Colbert at Radio City Music Hall, hosted a fundraiser and raised all this money for Biden. Now it's Kimmel. All I know is I don't remember very much of a Johnny Carson or a Jay Leno or even David Letterman, the NBC version, being a political activist to the point where he's hosting fundraisers for an incumbent president who's polling lower than any president in history. So that's where we are at this point, guys. Kimmel just simply is an activist, and he's not very funny, and that's why his ratings reflect that.
Yes, and there will be more stars announced that will be attending this fundraiser at a later date. So we will be watching to see who attends. Joe, thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend. Happy Friday.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.